this is a gaming chair story because everyone knows we're the foremost gaming chair reviewers here, so I have to do it. This is Noblechairs reveals Fallout Nuka-Cola Edition gaming chair. So Nuka-Cola from, the Fallout series, their version of Coca-Cola, I guess. And it's a red chair with Nuka-Cola on it. Jimmy, how much do you hate this or love this?
I'm a huge Fallout fan. They're also doing a Fallout TV show, so shout out to that. And if you play Fallout and you like Fallout lore, Nuka-Cola is where it's at. So I definitely need to replace my chair right about now.
Jeff?
I like the color red and black, so I like this chair for that reason alone. Is Nuka-Cola something I can actually buy? I know it's from Fallout, but they do it on collaboration. They should do that. Instead of Coca-Cola doing the essence of the metaverse or whatever, they should do that.
Yeah. Essence of Pixel. Lindsay?
I don't really have anything fun to add here. I hope that everyone who plays Fallout is happy and excited and buys the chair.
I'll just add another great example of IP way past its prime and on the decline and probably not worth much anymore. After a string of bad games, Fallout's one of those IPs that I think you could get for a song because no one really cares about the IP anymore. Let me just, Chris, I'm going to get to your question. I will do that as the bonus round here. I think
That's a good question.
It is a great question. I have one more here, and then I'm going to get to Chris's, and then we'll wrap up the lightning round here. The headline here, Microsoft boasts $3.74 billion in gaming revenue from increased Xbox Game Pass growth and console sales. This was Xbox's best non-holiday quarter yet. So $3.74 billion in revenue, up 6% year over year. And the total is split in favor of Xbox, which continues to do well for Microsoft. It says specifically in Q3 2022, gaming content and services accounted for 81% of that revenue, crossing $3 billion as a segment for the first time. So total revenue, $3.74 billion, content and services, 81%, hardware, 19%. A lot of this driven by Game Pass. Jimmy, thoughts on this?
I don't even know where to start. I mean, awesome for them. We knew Game Pass was going to be a hit. The numbers clearly support it. I feel like this is a 20-year, 22-year vision from the launch of Xbox coming to fruition and justifying all that effort in creating this hardware that they could sell around.
Does anyone see a connection between Game Pass growth here and these numbers from Microsoft and the horrible quarter Netflix had and subscriber decline there? Or is no one connecting these two things? Jeff, sorry.
I don't think it's fair to connect those two things. I know they do compete for people's time, but I don't know that they compete for people's wallets. Like, I think people can have both subscriptions. But it's a great result, and this is pre-Activision, right? So these numbers are going to be way, way higher. I also saw, I don't know if we covered, I forget when this story came out, but Game Pass is looking at bringing ads. Xbox is looking at bringing in-game ads, which I think is a super transformative kind of a news event for the space, and it's super interesting. So Game Pass is killing it.
Lindsay, I want to ask you a specific question. The blue bars hardware, when you see how small it is relative to the others, is there a world where Xbox stops making hardware, where Microsoft stops making hardware when you see this kind of trend?
Oh my God, again, with the 20-second thing with this. I don't know. I think eventually, yes, but I don't know if the need for hardware is going to evolve into a need for a different type of hardware that's not a console either. So I don't know that they'll go completely software only or completely cloud services only. Certainly think that'll be a part of it, but you're basically asking if everyone's just going to switch to PCs, and I don't know that that's going to be it.
Or phones or whatever, right? It could be anything.
Yeah, I still think they could make a phone. I don't know.
Yeah, great for Microsoft. I suspect at some point management looks at the writing on the wall and says, we got to figure out how to get out of hardware, because the margins on the content and services are also probably orders of magnitude better. And at some point, it's a small enough piece of the business that they'll find other ways, like through cloud and other things. So we'll see how that evolves, but good on Microsoft. All right. Let me just read Chris's comment here. Fallout Vegas 2 will bring it back, baby. Yeah, as much as Overwatch 2 will, Chris. But let's do this one. This was your lightning round overtime. Will Faze Clan get sold before the SPAC closes? Lindsay, start with you. So let me just add a bit of context here. There are rumors. I saw a few stories this week that the SPAC for Faze, the $1 billion public listing for Faze, was potentially falling apart, that they had missed revenue targets pretty significantly, and that Faze may not go public through the SPAC at a $1 billion valuation. So Chris's question here is, will there be another buyer for Faze, or will the SPAC close, or maybe none of the above? Lindsay, start with you.
Okay, I like to cede most of my time to Jeff because this is totally his jam. The only thing that I will say is I could see a potential buyout happening despite all the issues, just because this is a merger-hungry market and an acquisition-hungry market. Other than that, I want to know what Jeff thinks.
Good thought.
I don't think there'll be a buyout. I mean, I think it's possible that they lower the SPAC price. Like the SPAC sponsor has, B. Riley, has a lot of incentive to get the deal done. I think they make like a $10 million fee if the deal closes, so they'll try and get it closed. They're probably having trouble raising like that secondary like pipe round, so they might have to lower the valuation. I suspect that's probably what will happen. Maybe it gets done at like 600 or 700 million versus $1 billion. At the end of the day, the fact is this is a business making $50 million in revenue. It never should have been worth $1 billion. And the fact that they also, the filing that came out, they had predicted, and sorry, I realize I'm going to go over time. Hopefully you'll allow it. They were supposed to do 50 million in revenue in 2021 and 10 million in losses, which in and of itself isn't great. They did about 50 million in revenue, but they actually had about 29, I think it was 19 million in losses. So they had an extra 10 million in expenses versus what they projected, which is pretty remarkable for something they projected 6 months ago. And then they lowered they had put out targets in their SPAC presentation, and they lowered those like 30 or 40%, which is probably not surprising because 50% of the growth that they were projecting from 2021 to 2024 was coming from M&A and other opportunities. It's like, okay, what does that even mean? So yeah, they're going to have some trouble. I think the deal will end up getting done, but it definitely won't get sold before the SPAC. It'll just get sold. It'll go public with a much lower value.
Love it. Jimmy, anything to add?
I just don't know how Lee Trink keeps his job after this one, honestly. And there's so much turnover out of that camp. Not happy about it, obviously, as an investor in a team and as a group of us that work in this industry. You don't want to have such mismanagement or such missed expectations, because it raises a lot of questions and it puts a lot of skepticism and doubt. So that's all I'll add.
Yeah, Faze should never have gone public in my mind. Too many skeletons in the closet, potentially. Public scrutiny is just bad for business for them. I agree with Jeff. I think they are going to go public. I don't think they get bought. They will go public through the SPAC. It'll be a way, way lower valuation. And I suspect it will go lower over time as people uncover some of the mismanagement within Faze. So not something I would buy day one.